नाही इंट्रोडक्शन, कारण ते सरांना वेळ नाही जास्त.
हे फोटो कोणाची आहे? हे वाली हे कोणाची फोटो आहे? माझी आहे? चिन्हाचं काय भरोसा नाही जर ते करायचं तर माहिती
नाही. किरण बोरकरची बारी तो सी आहे.
मी आता चेंज केली तेच तर म्हणलं मी आता चेंज केली.
पावर इथे दाखवत आहे. तुम्ही आजा मोबाईल आहे का जॉईन?
मोबाईल वर आता केले जॉईन.
अच्छा.
पण ते वेगळा ईमेल आयडी. जॉईन फ्रॉम ब्राउझर का?
ब्राउझर यूज करावा लागेल. ऍप मधून प्रॉब्लेम जातो. काही नाही तिकडे येऊन जाल तुम्ही.
कामही आपले चांगले होईल. भाऊ माहिती का एवढ्या याच्यात रोज आपला एक लिगेंड बनवत आहे. रात्री ते त्याचं पीएचडीचे लिगेंड्स बनवणं सुरू आहे. आणि रात्री एपीआय तरी बनवला त्यानं. लागला एका नंबर काढायला लागला तो.
मी सध्या जास्त बिझी आहे.
तुमचं तर ते घराचं आहे तोपर्यंत.
घराचं असूनही मी एक
व्हेरी गुड. बड़े यहाँ बढ़ गया नहीं तो यहाँ बढ़ गया. हम हमारा को कान में डुबकी लगाने वाले हैं तो कोई टेंशन नहीं. ते तिथं बसते.
नेटचा प्रॉब्लेम आहे.
आला होता म्हणून तुम्ही
लाईट वगैरे गेली का?
अरे यार नाही, लाईट आहे सर.
हे मागचे सगळे लोक दिसतात म्हणून कॅमेरा ऑन करावा लागते. इकडे जर कोणी इंटरेस्ट नाही मागते.
तुमचा मोबाईल पक्का हँग करते. आपण माणसंच हँग करते.
कसं करावं मग? याला मिनिमाइज करा. हा डायरेक्ट कोणाचा आहे? जिओ आहे तुमचा? सर म्हणते 10:10 सुरू करा. त्यांच्याकडे जनगण मन असते ना. बस. हा आवाज पण येते सर पण इथे.
मॅडम मोबाईलचा नेटवर्क जाईल कसं रस्त्यात?
तिकडे नाही का काही प्रॉब्लेम?
हो मॅडम, मोडक मॅडम.
हा बोला ना.
मोबाईलचं नेटवर्क मध्ये जाईल तर रस्त्यात येता येता आमचा नेटवर्क जातो ना.
काय म्हटले? नेटवर्क जाते?
हो मध्ये रस्त्यात.
तर वायफाय जॉईन करून घे.
नाही रस्त्यात हो.
रस्त्यात? अच्छा अच्छा. जाऊ दे आता, का करते.
हो आम्हाला सर्टिफिकेट द्या आपण.
जितकं जमेल तितकं चालू ठेव.
हो हो
ठीक आहे. जितकं जमेल तितकं चालू ठेव आता.
काय सरांना थांबा म्हणा, खूप धावत आहेत.
हो का? आता जरा प्रॅक्टिसच चालली आहे थोडी. ठीक आहे. 10 वाजता 10 वाजून 10 मिनिटांनी सुरू होईल डॉट. ठीक आहे. दरवाजाही बंद कर देंगे.
सगळ्यांना झाला फोन. ह्याचं आपलं प्रिंट आहे का काही कार्यक्रमाचं?
सरांजवळ
द्या ना, द्या एक प्रिंट.
सरांजवळ
हे आपलं
ब्रॉशर्स वगैरे.
हो
मॅडम
ते करतो. हा
उनका थैंक यू बोलना चाहूंगा सर को। मुझे पता है मैं स्टार्टिंग कर रहा हूँ 10 से लेकर 8 तक।
रेकॉर्ड होत्या कायचा रेकॉर्ड होता.
Yeah, Girish, what is the situation?
म्यूट करना.
हेलो. हाँ सर. सर गुड मॉर्निंग. रेवतकर सर. हेलो. हाँ रेवतकर सर गुड मॉर्निंग. हेलो. आवाज येत आहे का माझा? हं? हो येत
येस
आहे
सर.
आवाज.
येस सर.
हो.
आवाज येतोय?
येस सर. येऊन राहिला.
ओके, थँक्यू.
थोडा कमी येतोय सर.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर.
गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड मॉर्निंग.
स्टार्ट करायचं सर.
हो, मी तयार आहे.
हो सर. ठीक ठीक.
तुमची व्यवस्था जर झाली असेल तर मी तयार आहे.
हो सर. जवळपास 48 पार्टिसिपेंट जॉईन झाले.
वाट बघायची का? चंद्रमौली सर आले का?
हो आले आले.
हाँ सर. हाँ सर नमस्कार सर. सर नमस्कार रेवतकर सर. नमस्कार सर.
नमस्कार नमस्कार नमस्कार.
हाँ. चला सुरू करू का?
चालेल, मी तयार आहे.
तयार आहे ना? ठीक आहे ना देशमुख सर.
हो सर. हो
हाँ
ठीक है. मार्कंडेयर मॅम.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed dignitaries. I, Dr. Rajashri Ajay Markandevar, Assistant Professor in Department of Chemistry at Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi Arts, Commerce and Science College, Navli, District Chandrapur, welcome you all to this one research PG students and 2022 5th March 2022. At this August gathering, I welcome the inaugurator of the program, Dr. Revatkar sir, Dean, Faculty of Science, Dr. A. Chandramouli sir. I also welcome the convener, Dr. Prerna Modak, HOD, Department of Physics, and Mr. Sandeep Keshri, HOD, Department of History. I welcome the co-conveners, Dr. Ragini Patil, Department of Chemistry, Mr. Mukesh Khare, Department of Physics, Mr. Ashish Tindale, Department of Physics. I also extend my warm greeting to all
Excuse
the
me,
teaching,
excuse me.
non-teaching staff and the
Keep your mobile phones little bit far. Keep your mobile phones little bit far. Your voice is echo. I think, or else two screens have opened, I think so. So also the voice will get echo. Please kindly check. Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am, just give me a second.
ठीक है करा था स्टार्ट करा
I also welcome the resource dignitaries and all the teaching who have shown their interest and joined research pursuing participants. Hearty welcome to all of you. Today, 28th February, the National Science Day is celebrated at the Rashtrapati Mahatma Gandhi Mahavidyalaya by the inauguration of this research workshop, an ideal way to tribute to the great scientist, physicist, Dr. C.V. Raman. Let me take a few minutes to introduce our parents. Rashtrapati Mahatma Gandhi Arts, Commerce and Science College. Rashtrapati Gandhi Arts, Commerce and Science College, run by Bharat Shri and affiliated with this college is established in 1994 with an objective of imparting quality education in the Faculty of Arts, Commerce and Science. This is committed to the mission of propagating education for the society. Blessed with the leaders like Vinobaji Bhave and Mahatma Gandhi, this institute has its legacy, and the institute offers various undergraduate and postgraduate courses in physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, Marathi, political science, and history. At this juncture, I would like to introduce the inaugurator of today's program. Sir has a whopping 33 years of teaching experience. His expertise in research and in the area of chemistry is not only renowned in Gondwana University, but also in RTM University. He has 6 students who have been PhD awarded under his supervision. Sir has also few students working under his research guidance, pursuing currently PhD at Gondwana University. Sir has a credit of Australian patent and vast research experience with more than 60 plus research papers. Sir has attended, presented papers in more than conferences, out of which international conferences. Expertise go Hello. His expertise continues as more than 10 books he has to his credit in the field of chemistry. Sir, not only in the field of chemistry, this versatile person has his expertise at the various administrative levels at the college and university levels. Sir has served at various committees at the Gondwana University, Gadchiroli. He is also associated with other than the other various social groups, like he is the president of Eklavya Granthalaya Armory District Gadchiroli and also president of Chaitanya Vasidhigriha Gadchiroli. because of his work in the field of chemistry as well as social, he has received numerous awards. To name a few, he has received Seva Ratna Gaurav Puraskar, Teacher Fellowship under FDP during the 10th Plan. He has received Mahatma Phule State Level Teacher Award by Rashtriya Shikshan Parishad. He has received Ideal Teacher Award twice by Nagpur, RTM Nagpur University. Received second prize in international conference organized by. So without much ado, let me welcome today's inaugurator, Dr. Revkar, Dean, Faculty of Science and Technology, Gondwana University. I request sir.
अशा प्रकारे अलिखित स्वरूप हे. अशा प्रकारे
please mute
अलिखित स्वरूप हे.
Please mute yourself. I request Dr. Suresh Revatkar sir to officially inaugurate this webinar. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Madam. Markandevar, Madam. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning to all. Respect Principal Dr. Chandramouli, sir, the President of the today's workshop, the teachers, scholars, and the PG students. Today is the National Science Day. So I giving my best wishes to all dignitaries. First, I congratulate Honorable Sandeep Bhau Gaddamwar and the Principal Dr. Chandramouli sir and their team for organizing this mega event, 7 days 7 days event of the workshop for the postgraduate program. Actually, to organize the research methodology for the students is the need of the group. On this need base, the Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi College, Savli, doing well for the PG students of physics and chemistry. I declare that this 7 days national workshop on the research methodology is inaugurated. I am damn sure this workshop will help the postgraduate students for starting their research and to complete their project work in the PG level. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's always an honor to have you as the inaugurator of this program. Ladies and gentlemen, let me brief you about the objectives of this workshop. This workshop has been organized to understand the basic concepts of research and its methodologies. We look forward to identify and propagate the research methods. We hope that this research workshop will help to prepare project proposals and conduct research at advanced level by all the research I invite Principal Dr. A. Chandramouli sir to kindly. Hello. Hello. I invite our Principal Dr. A. Chandramouli sir to discuss the objectives of this event seminar.
Hello. So, may I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes. So, first of all, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the participants, including dignitaries, Dr. Suresh Revatkar, Dean, Faculty of Science and Technology, Gondwana University, Gadchiroli, and the others, resource person, Dr. Lata Mani from Bangalore, and the organizer of the national workshop, Professor Deshmukh sir, Dr. Prerna Modak, and the whole team of Physics and Botany Department, Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi College, Savli, and other participants who have joined this webinar through email throughout the India. So first of all, I would like to wish you all on the occasion of Science Day which is to be celebrated throughout India today on behalf of science progress. We today can't imagine the progress of science which is made and which is taking strides throughout the world, and it is giving such a tremendous result on which base we are living a easy life. So I would like to extend best wishes to all the organizers who are organizing this research methodology workshop. Actually, basically, the research is one kind of activity by which one can find out the truth and solve the problem of teaching as well as the society. Today, teaching, research, social activity, and extension activities, these are become the 4 pillars of our education system. And UGC also make it a mandatory to each and every professor to undertake. So being professor of university or college, one has to undergo research for find out solution to problems. Today we are facing so many problems. The problems including local problems, social problems, international problems, the problems of students, parents, and everywhere problems are there. As a lecturer, we should come forward and make a plan and prepare hypothesis, guidelines, and undergo research work. Actually, research is a type of systematic investigation that applies empirical methods to solving challenges in education as well as social field. It adapts rigorous as well as defined scientific process in order to gather and analyze data for problem solving and knowledge advancement. Research also provides you with an opportunity to go very deep into the subject. This depth knowledge gained through research will certainly helpful to all the researchers. Nowadays, the UGC has made compulsory all the job seekers, particularly in higher education, those who want to be settled as a lecturer, they must have to complete their research apart from net set. So here we keeping in the mind all the research scholars on behalf of our college decided to organize a 1-week research methodology, particularly for science PG and research students, so that they may come through the problems what they are raising while undertaking research. So I hope this will be certainly useful to all the researchers, and I also give my best appreciation to all the whole team who is taking pains to conduct this program. I am also very thankful to the Honorable Inaugurator Dr. Revatkar sir and the resource person Lata Mani and other dignitaries who have joined this program for their sparing time and patience listening. So thanks to all. I would like to stop here my few words and over to Markandavar madam.
Thank you so much, sir. It is your support and guidance that we could able to organize this 1-week national virtual research methodology workshop. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I would like to recognize the presence of esteemed dignitaries who have taken their time and joined here. We welcome Dr. Lata Maniyar, Assistant Professor from Mysore. We welcome you, ma'am, from Bharat. We also recognize the presence of Dr. Kherani, sir, and all the esteemed dignitaries who have joined. I would like to give an overview of the resource persons for these national webinar. We have Dr. Lata Mani from Vidyavardha Sangha, BVFGC Mysore. We have Dr. Thammidala Rubin from Chaitanya Deemed University, Warangal. Nagapure from Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi University, Lavanya, Assistant Professor from Department of Mathematics, Bharati Women's College, Chennai, Dr. Amardeep Shende from Dr. Shantilal Devse College of Arts, Commerce and Science College, Palghar. We have Dr. Rakesh Kumar Parmar, Associate Department of Chemical Engineering. I am pretty much sure with these esteemed resource persons and the galaxy of eminent researchers, this workshop is going to be a boon for all those who are attending. I wish you all a happy learning processes. And now I invite the convener, Mr. Sandesh, for the official vote of thanks.
Next session. Thank you, sir.
Good morning. This is our first lecture session. Audible? Am I audible? So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is our methodology workshop, and I, Dr. Prerna Modak, welcome you all. I'm profoundly delighted to take an opportunity to introduce the resource person, Dr. Lathamani R, for the day. She has done her PhD in evaluation of lactic contaminant and impact of urban environment on groundwater quality in Mysore city in 2016. It also cleared Karnataka State Lectureship Test eligibility University of Mysore in 2016. Am I audible? Am I audible to all?
Yeah, slight disturbance is there.
Am I audible to all?
Yeah, yeah. Now we can. We can. Please continue.
Am I audible to all?
Yes, now okay. Now okay.
No.
Sorry for the inconvenience. Ma'am have presented 10 papers in international conferences and 2 papers in national conferences held in different places in India. She have visited Thailand, Germany, Japan, and Tunisia to present papers.
Yeah, good morning all. Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Is this clear? But kindly you have to give me the permission to present my screen, to share my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
You can
ma'am.
start.
Okay. Is it visible? Is my screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. Good morning all once again. I think it's rectified. The technical problem which was there, I think it's rectified. Hope my voice is clear. First of all, I like to thank Chandramouli sir, the principal of the college, and the convener, Dr. Prerna Modak, and Mr. Sandeep Deshmukh. Both of you, thank you for giving me the opportunity. And also, I don't want to forget here the co-conveners, Dr. Rajashri and Dr. Ragini, Mr. Mukesh, and Mr. Ashish. So I have just prepared the slides for the basic information, what is required for the startups, means the new researchers, the freshers who want to start the research, what and all, how the methodology follows and what are the steps to be followed by each researcher. That's what I've given here. Coming to the first slide, we can just see there the meaning of the research. Research itself, search itself is something, searching for something, or else I can just say, just a minute, I'll just minimize it. I'm not able to see. Okay. Yeah. Research is an endeavor to discover answers to intellectual and practical problems through the application of scientific method. Research is a systemized effort to gain new knowledge. That's the simple sentence I can just say, simple definition. A systemized effort to gain new knowledge. Gaining new knowledge is something different. Systematically gaining new knowledge is something different. So there applies the research methodology. So extracting the knowledge in a process, yes. Can you all hear me?
Ma'am, your slides are not changing. It's stick to the
Technical problem.
first one. Your slides are not changing, ma'am. It's stick to the first one only.
Not getting voice clearly, madam.
My voice is not clear. Even you, whatever you people are talking, I'm not able to hear. It's dragging. Their voice is getting dragged.
Ma'am, your slides are not moving.
Okay, okay. I'm
Stick
just
to the
trying.
first one only.
Yeah, I'm just trying. I'm just trying. Can you see the second slide now?
Yes, ma'am, it's okay now.
Okay, okay. I'm just checking. Please see. Can you see the next slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you all. Thank you. Yeah. Research is a systemized effort to gain new knowledge. That's what I said. Gaining new knowledge is something different, but in a particular process that is called as research methodology. So coming to now the objectives of the research. The purpose of research is to discover answers through the application of scientific procedures. And you can just see there, I've just given to gain familiarity with a phenomenon or to achieve new insights into it is called as formative research or exploratory research. Is there any problem? Is there any problem?
आपलं आता हे बंद करून ठेवायचं. सुरू व्हायला तुम्ही आवाज येतो
Is there any problem? Can you all hear me? Okay, the next research is called as descriptive research. To portray accurately the characteristics of a particular individual, situation, or a group is called as a descriptive research. And coming to the next one, diagnostic research, to determine the frequency with which something occurs or with which it is associated with something else. This can be directly considered with the clinical research. Diagnostic research is related to clinical research. So means if we are having any kind of problems, maybe blood pressure or the diabetes, it requires a continuous checking there. So that's like that kind of information what we gather we considered as diagnostic research. And hypothesis, to test a hypothesis of a causal relationship between variables. So I'm going to discuss about hypothesis in the future slides in a better way. So hypothesis is nothing but assumption, means yes or no, whether it's going to work or it will not work. If it's working, what are the variables? So these are the things what we are going to do with the hypothesis research. These are all the characteristics of research. I just don't want to be in this slide. Next one. Criteria of a good research. How the research will be. If we want to be like if you want to do research, what are the requirements? Purpose clearly defined. Whatever the aspect you have selected to do the research, you have to define it clearly without any confusions or without any doubts. And research process detailed. The method you have followed to know or to solve the problem, you have to mention there. The process, whatever you have followed, you have to mention it in detail. Research design thoroughly planned. See, whatever we do before it, we have to plan correctly. We have to organize correctly. Even the process, whatever to do the research, that process has to be planned in a correct way. And coming to the next one, high ethical standards applied, means just to complete the research, we should not go with the other different paths. means ethical standard should be there. So if we follow the ethical standards when we are doing the research, these ethical standards makes our research very much useful to the society. That one I can assure you. And limitations frankly revealed means if you are not able to do a certain part within that research, means if you are not able to solve a problem, or else if you are not able to find a solution, complete solution for a problem, you have to reveal it. Means which part you are not able to do it. And adequate analysis for decision makers need means based on your research, if any decision makers, if they want to do any kind of decisions, you have to give, means by adequate analysis, you can give a clear picture for that. And findings presented unambiguously, that's what I told, without any confusions, we have to give there. Conclusions has to be justified, means if you're portraying your conclusion, there you should justify it, to what extent it is suitable. So researchers' experience reflected, means based on all the like steps, whatever I've mentioned, the researcher's experience also gets reflected over there. Okay. Problems in research, you can see over there, not similar to science, means a theoretical science, whatever we have accepted, it will be not exactly similar. Slightly it will be varied. And uncontrollable variables means if we have selected a kind of variables, if it's not, means if we are not able to control it means I can just say, for example, you are taking samples, you are taking water samples from a particular season. Just because slightly variations with respect to the seasonal temperature, even it will affect the sample quality. So that can be considered as uncontrollable variables. Human tendencies means if someone is not ready to give you a correct information, time and money, a greater thing today, lack of computerization, whatever you collect the data, if it's not if it's not arranged in a computeral manner, that also will not give the clear picture over there. And the lack of scientific training in the methodology of research, the same thing what we are talking today, means if you are not having a correct scientific training, even the methodology of the research varies. Yes, coming to now types of research. Different researches are there: descriptive research, analytical research. For especially the science students, analytical research will be more near to them. Descriptive research for the social sciences, like is a fact-finding investigating, which is aimed at describing the characteristics of individual, situation, or a group, describing the state of affairs as it exists at present. Coming to analytical research is primarily concerned with testing hypotheses and specifying and interpreting relationships by analyzing the facts of information already available. And coming to the next one, applied research or action research is carried out to find out solution to a real life problem requiring an action or policy decision. Applied research means whatever the research you have taken, you can apply, or else the research solutions, whatever you have taken, whatever you have gathered after doing the research, that can be applicable to the, especially for the policy makers and for the society easily. Fundamental research, which is also known as basic or pure research, is undertaken for the sake of knowledge without any intention to apply it in practice. Means you have done the research, it will be there as a theory, it's not applied as an applied research, but you can gather the information for other different types of researchers from the fundamental research aspects. And quantitative and qualitative research. Quantitative research is employed for the measuring the quantity or amount of a particular phenomena by the use of statistical analysis. Usually quantitative and research we are doing with respect to the science. So qualitative research is a non-quantitative type of analysis which is aimed at finding out the quality of a particular phenomena. It means in the quantitative research, you will be just measuring the number of people. Means if you're taking population as, means you're taking a research related to the population, you're just giving the number of people present in that group. When it comes to qualitative research, you'll just give the information of people, or else you'll just give the information of the population with respect to their what type of people you're adding there. So that comes there qualitative. Then conceptual research is generally used by philosophers and thinkers to develop new concepts or to interpret existing ones. Means conceptual research, the name itself gives the meaning over there. Philosophers usually developed a new concepts, new thinking. For example, most like when we talk about social reformers, I think they have not done a systematic research, but through their words or through their information or through their guidelines, we have done the conceptual research. Means they have done the conceptual research. Social reformers. Empirical research is a data-based research which depends on experience or observation alone. It is aimed at coming up with conclusions without due regard for systematic. So empirical research mainly connected with the experiments. So science researchers, they go with the experiments and they give the correct picture. And also we also take some error aspects also over there. But still, I can assure you 95% through the experiments, whatever the results we get. So that kind of research, if we are doing, it's been considered as empirical research. Okay. So these are not much required here. So I'll be moving on. So coming to the research process, this is very much important. So I've just given the flow chart over there. So coming to defining research problem, these are the steps which has been involved with the research process. First step is we need to define the research problem. I'll explain that. And in the second step, review concepts and theories, review previous research findings. That is nothing but review the literature, review of literature we say. And the third step is formulate hypothesis. And the fourth one is design research. Fifth one, collect data, analyze the data, and interpretation and report. So that goes with the sixth step over there. Okay, definition of the research problem. So what do you mean by a problem? What do you mean by a problem? Problem means a issue which has to be examined. Means it requires some kind of examination. Means if we examine it, naturally we can find the solution for it. So research problem refers to some difficulty, need which a researcher experiences in the context of either theoretical or practical situation and wants to obtain a solution for the same. So how we can select that? The first step in the research process, definition of the problems, involves two activities: identification or selection of the problem. For example, identification means being an individual or being a researcher, if you come to know there is some problem. So that problem is identified by the researcher. That is called as identification. Next, coming to selection of the problem. Many problems are there within the society. Many things has to be attained by the researchers. You are selecting one problem which is suitable for you to solve it. I think you people are able to understand. Identification means identifying the problem according to your knowledge. Second concept is selection of the problems. Many problems are there, 10 problems are there. In that 10, you are able to take the second one or the first one, because that problem, you feel that you're able to solve the first type of problem. That's called as selection of the problem. Second concept is formulation of the problem. How we are going to formulate, or else how you are going to find the steps to solve the problem, that's called as formulation. Formulation means translating and transforming the selected research problem or topic or idea into a scientifically researchable question. It is concerned with specifying exactly what the research problem is. Means You know what is the problem, but when you're telling others about the problem, you should specify it exactly what that problem is by your words or by your experience. So that refers their formulation of the problem. Okay, establishment of research objectives. I've just given here so that you can know correctly. Research objectives are the specific components of the research problem that you will be working to answer or complete in order to answer the overall research problem. So it's been framed by Churchill in 2001. The objectives refers to the questions to be answered through the study. They indicate what we are trying to get from the study or the expected results or outcome of the study. I can tell you whatever I told you, formulation of the problem is nothing but the objective of your study, the objective of your study. Research objectives should be clear and achievable as they directly assist in answering the research problem. The objectives may be specified in the form of either statements or questions. You can state it or you can ask a question over there with respect to the problems, whatever you have taken up to solve it. Generally, they are written as statements using the word to. For example, to discover, to determine, to establish, etc. Because many of the research projects have been rejected just because they are not able to frame the correct sentences or the correct terminologies. If they are not able to use it, many of the research projects will get rejected because they are not able to reveal the correct information through that question. Okay, coming to now literature review. This is the second step what we are connected with. After finding the problem or after finding the objectives, you have to go with your objectives. How you can find your objectives or how you can find a solution for your objective goes with your literature review. So literature review is the documentation of a comprehensive review of the published and unpublished work from secondary sources of data in the areas of specific interest to the researcher. So here secondary data means, for example, if you want to collect the water table information, you will go to the water work department and from there you are collecting the water table which is present in that particular city. So the data, whatever you got it, it is something like secondary data, I can just say. So from that data, or else some person before you have worked on the data and they have given some interpretation or some conclusions. Based on that conclusions, you're continuing the problem, or to solve the problem you're continuing. So that's been considered as like literature review. The main aim is to find out problems that are already investigated and those that need further investigation. It's an extensive survey of all available past studies relevant to the field of investigation. It gives us knowledge about what others have found out in the related field of study and how they have done so. Especially for the science-oriented researchers, I can just tell you, just go with only 10 years backup data. Don't take more than, means don't go earlier to 10 years, because you all know the updated version with respect to the science experiments, it should be, means the current information related to any technology, any information related to science has to be given. So don't go more than like 10 years backup data. Okay, sources of literature. You all know this: books and journals, electronic databases, bibliographic databases, abstract databases, full text databases, government and industry reports. Just now I gave an example: internet research, dissertations or theses. So recording the literature, kindly, I've just, because when I did my research, I felt that it little problematic related to how to arrange the literature, whatever I have collected. So card system is one of the best methodology to keep your literature reviews separately according to the selection. For example, the most suitable method of recording notes is the card system. The recording system involves use of two sets of cards: source cards and note cards. Source cards will be a little bit smaller. you can always use the source cards. Whatever the articles you have selected, you can just paste on the front page of it, and you can just write down the important which is required from that particular article. And note cards, it's a little bit extensive, or else a big card comparatively to the source cards. In that note cards, you can directly take, or you can directly mention what specific concept you want to adopt from that article. So like that it goes. Source cards serve two purposes: provide documentary information for footnotes. It's used for compiling bibliography to be given at the end of the report. And you can just see here, I have just mentioned how you can go with marking a combination of letters and a number on the right and top corner that begins with C, for example, C1, C2. Like that you can go on. For example, if you feel the article is very relevant to your research, you can go with A1, A2, so that first you can just go with the A1, A2 articles. Then if you mention B1, B2, then that's the second group of articles which you want to go through for your research. And subsequently, like that, it goes with C1 and C2. And making the letter B or J or R. B for books, J for journal, R for report on the left and top corner. That also makes saves your time when you are going back to your articles with respect to your literature review, because it takes a lot of time. Even if we just give 1 week or 10 days of time without looking back to our old articles, it takes a lot of time from us. So to save the time, these are all the methods how we have to follow related to literature review. And this is, you can just see here, the format for citing a book I've just given there, because the format for citing, for citations, also depends upon the universities. Universities also mention, they will mention their own procedure, how the researchers or the thesis submitter has to cite a book. It's a format will be mentioned by particular universities. According to that, we have to go. And how to write a review. Different methods are there to write a review. For example, if you are referring the major influencing factors in Shaith's model of industrial buying behavior, it can be written as Shaith 1973, page number 50, has suggested that there are a number of influencing factors. Then in other different way, according to Shaith 1973 model of industrial buying behavior, there are a number of influencing factors. In some models of industrial buying behavior, there are a number of influencing factors. Like this, you can just go on. Okay. Coming to now, hypothesis, formulation of hypothesis. What do you mean by hypothesis? Hypothesis is an assumption about relations between variables. So anything that can vary can be considered as a variable. I've just given there also. A hypothesis is an assumption about relations between variables. Variables are nothing but which is changing, means the changing concepts can be considered as variables. For example, age, production unit, absenteeism, sex, motivation, income, height, weight, etc. The values can differ at various times for the same object or person at the same time for different objects. So coming here, variable and attributes. In many different articles, when you go through, in some articles they'll mention attributes, in some articles they mention variables, and also they specify taking so and so variables, kindly find out the solution for a problem. Considering these attributes, you can find out the solution for a problem. All these are the things which we go through when we are searching for a particular thing. So you can just see a variable is a characteristic that takes one or more values, whereas an attribute is a specific value on a variable. For example, the variable sex or gender has two attributes, male and female. Next thing, the variable agreement has 5 attributes: strongly agree, strongly disagree. Like that it goes. So types of variables are also there. So like in future, like in other second day or third day, I went through the technical sessions. Some resource person is there who will be talking particularly with respect to variable, I think so. Coming to hypothesis, research hypothesis is a predictive statement that relates an independent variable to a dependent variable. Hypothesis must contain at least one independent variable and one dependent variable. So these are some information related to hypothesis. Okay. Hypothesis is an assumption that can be tested and can be proved to be right or wrong. A problem is a broad question which cannot be directly tested. A problem can be scientifically investigated after converting it to a form of hypothesis. See, problem is something which we have selected, and if we can solve the problem or not, we doesn't know exactly. If we are solving that problem, what is the percentage which we can achieve? I can just tell you that, okay, 9% I can solve this problem. Other 10% I may not. So that is something hypothesis. Problem is selecting a particular issue and to what extent we can solve that issue. So that refers here hypothesis. Okay, characteristics of hypothesis. Okay. These are much not required. Sources of hypothesis. Okay. Now coming to descriptive hypothesis. These are types of hypothesis. These are assumptions that describe the characteristics of a variable. The variable may be an object, person, organization, situation, or event. Means if you are describing a particular personality, that is called as descriptive hypothesis. Whether that person is short, tall, or fat, lean, like this, we just go with. Means we are taking the person as a sample and we are describing him. That is called as descriptive hypothesis. Coming to, see, public enterprises are more amenable for centralized planning. Coming to a relational hypothesis. These are assumptions that describe the relationship between two variables. The relationships suggested may be positive, negative, or casual relationship. Families with higher income spend more for recreation. It may be positive or it may be negative. So you see here, casual hypothesis states that the existence of or change in one variable causes or leads to an effect on another variable. The first variable is called the independent variable and the latter is the dependent variable. See here, the first variable is higher income is the first variable. Second variable is dependent variable is recreation. Families with higher income spend more for recreation. So higher income, it's there for them, but we can't suggest that, or we can't straight away say that the higher income people spend more money for recreation. They may spend money for different other purpose. So like this, it goes, the hypothesis goes in this way. So null hypothesis, you can just see, when hypothesis is stated negatively, it's called null hypothesis. It is a no different, no relationship hypothesis. That is, it states that no difference exists between the parameter and statistic being compared to, or no relationship exists between the variable being compared. So it's usually represented as H over H naught. No relationship between a family's income and expenditure on recreation. Means if there is no relationship, then we call it as null hypothesis. So these are different types of hypothesis I've given. Means I've just a simple examples for that for you people just to know how it goes with. So going to the next one. Functions or role of hypothesis. It gives a definite point to the investigation and provides direction to the study. It determines the data needs. It specifies the sources of data. It suggests which type of research is likely to be more appropriate. So this sentence matters a lot here. It suggests which type of research is likely to be more appropriate to solve a problem. It determines the most appropriate technique of analysis. It contributes to the development of theory. So this is related to hypothesis. Hypothesis is nothing but We are assuming the steps which we have to follow to solve the selected problem. So coming to the next one, step 4, preparing the research design. So you have already selected a problem, you have already set the hypothesis there, and now to just to do that hypothesis, or just to frame the hypothesis, you need a steps, or you need a procedure. That's nothing but research design. Usually involves the consideration of the following. Like the means of obtaining the information, means you have to first frame, if you want information to solve a problem, from where and all you can gather the information. You should do the checklist. So that's nothing but obtaining the information. Availability and skills of the researcher and the staff. It also depends upon a personality, a person who is doing the research, who has selected a problem, the skills, what he or she has to solve the problem also matters here. Explanation of the way in which selected means of obtaining information will be organized, and the reasoning leading to the selection. So you need to explain in what way you're going to obtain the information, and in what way you're going to organize it, in what way you're going to lead that organized information to solve the problem. The time available for research matters a lot, because in a specified time, if we complete the research, then only we can say it as like something perfect. In some different analytical research, especially related to experiments, some may not get the results after many years also. Those may go, those people have to extend their time. But usually in a specified time, if we give the correct picture, or if we just solve the problem, whatever we have selected, I think that matters a lot with respect to research design. The cost factor relating to research, that is the finance available for the purpose. Nowadays, a lot of people, like, we have to think over it. The cost which has been, means the expenses which we are doing for a particular research. Determining sample design, like deliberate sampling, simple random sampling, means here I've just given the sampling type. What do you mean by deliberate sampling? Deliberate sampling means purposefully, if we are selecting a particular sample, that is called as deliberate sampling. If I want to say that, okay, different types of waters are there, tap water is there, lake water is there, river water is there, ocean water is there, different types of water is there. But I am just going and collecting deliberately only the tap water for examination. So that kind of sampling is called as deliberate sampling. Coming to simple random sampling. So simple random sampling, I can just say, see, just assume that there are 150 water samples in front of you. 150 water samples are there in front of you. So what you're doing, every 10th sample, you're just randomly, you're just selecting it. But you doesn't know what is the 10th sample. 150 samples are there with you. 150 samples are not same type of water. Different types of water are there. But every 10th sample, it may be lake water. The 20th sample may be the river water. And the 30th sample may be a tap water, whatever it is. But here you are applying simple random sampling. Systematically you're doing the sampling. Systematically you're doing the sampling means you're doing a group there. You're doing a group. In each group, for example, you're having like 50 tap water samples and 50 river water samples. In each group, you're selecting the 5th one or 10th sample. So that goes with the systematic sampling. Stratified sampling, it's a homogeneous group, means it's not a homogeneous, it's not a particular type of different types of samples are there, or different types of water qualities are there, but still you will stratify, means you just go with, for example, first you will keep a lake water, and in the second group also you'll keep with the lake water. In the third group also you'll keep with the lake water. And the second, in that first group, the second will be the river water. Even in the second group, the river water. Doing in this way, in a stratified way, if you're doing the sampling analysis, that's called as stratified sampling. And the next one, like quota sampling. See, from the stratified sampling, you're just selecting the random sample. Means strata means in a sequence way you have arranged your samples. In that sequence, you're selecting a particular sample. Means you're selecting any one of the sample. It's a random sampling, but quota sampling is considered as selection of random samples from a strata. Next one, cluster sampling. Cluster is nothing but groups, making groups of samples, and from that group with a particular intention, you are selecting a sample. Multi-stage sampling and sequential multi-stage sampling means when we are collecting the samples from a large geographical area. It's not a specified geographical area. You're considering a large geographical area. In that large geographical area, you're just selecting, you're selecting the samples. That's called as multi-stage sampling. Coming to sequential sampling means, sequential means one after the other. Means, for example, at the second year, means if we are taking children as samples, the children who have attained 2 years of age, we'll do some kind of some kind of diagnosis for them. And when they have completed 5th year, we'll do some kind of diagnosis. And when they attain 10th year, we'll do some kind of diagnosis for them. So this kind of doing the diagnosis or analysis at a particular period, that's called as sequential sampling. So these are the different sampling designs. Coming to step 5, how to collect the data. Means by observing or by doing the analysis through personal interview. Means when you just frame whatever the requirements you want, you will be thinking whom to contact, whom to interview, or how you can do the analysis. All these matters a lot. So through personal interviews, through telephone interviews, by mailing or questionnaires, through schedules. This is for, means exactly relates with social science people, but for the like science researchers, mainly with respect to the analysis, we can collect the data. And analysis of data requires a number of closely related operations such as establishment of categories, coding, tabulation, and statistical inferences. See, after doing the analysis, how you can do the analysis of the data. So it requires here, you need to categorize, means the samples which are good, the samples which are bad, the samples which are agreeable. Means all these things based on your coding, you'll do the categories. Coding is also been done. According to that coding, you'll do the tabulation work, means the table format, you'll do it. And statistical inferences you're going to give with respect to the table format. Analysis work after tabulation is generally based on the consumption of various computation of various percentages, coefficients, etc. The statistical analysis comes over here. Like by using the computers, we can, means different softwares are there. By using those softwares, we can come up with the conclusion or depiction of the data as we can do it by applying various well-defined statistical formulae. And relationships or differences supporting or conflicting with original or new hypothesis should be subjected to tests of significance to determine with what data can be said to indicate any conclusions. And the 7th step, generalizations and interpretation. Kindly observe over here. If a hypothesis is tested and means you have framed a hypothesis and that hypothesis have not worked, means whatever you have assumed, that assumptions are not working here. So it may be possible for the research to arrive at generalizations, that is to build a theory. Means when your assumptions have not worked, you can give your own generalizations or you can give your own conclusions with respect to, means that generalizations is nothing but you're creating a new conclusion over there. That's all. As a matter of fact, the real value of research lies in its ability to arrive at certain generalizations. Means you should have your knowledge. You should have your knowledge even to come for, means you even to frame the generalizations. So if the researcher had no hypothesis to start with, he might seek to explain his findings on the basis of some theory. It's known as interpretation. Means if a researcher is not starting with any kind of hypothesis, he can give his own interpretation. He can give his own interpretation. The process of interpretation may quite often trigger off new questions, which in turn may lead to further research. So see here how the new research can start with the old research. When a researcher gives the interpretation stating that, okay, this particular work requires the further means research related to the old work, then a new researcher can continue the old research and give a correct conclusion. Only the interpretations can give a chance for the other researcher to start a new research. Okay. Then the last concept here, preparation of the report or the thesis, how the report should be or the thesis should be. It is having the 4 major parts. The layout of the report. Layout means the starting pages, means how you have given the the first starting information. When a person opens the thesis, the layout gives the exact picture what it is there inside. So the preliminary pages consists of title, date, acknowledgements and foreword. Then a table of contents followed by a list of tables and the list of graphs and charts which has been used in the theme content. And the main text. The main text includes first part, introduction, summary of findings, main report and the conclusion. The end matter, appendices, should be enlisted in respect of all technical data. Bibliography will be there, list of books, journals, reports, etc. consulted should also be given in the end. Index should also be given specially in a published research report. Okay. Report should be written in a concise and objective style in simple language, avoiding vague expressions such as it seems, there may be, and the like. So when you are expressing your thought by means after gaining the knowledge by the research, you should never say that it seems. Means when you use this word it seems, first of all you're in a confused condition or in a doubted condition, just say. So charts and illustrations in the main report should be used only if they present the information more clearly and forcibly. So calculated confidence limits must be mentioned and the various constraints experienced in conducting research should be gathered there. So this is about preparation of the report or the thesis. And thank you all. Hope I have completed within the time allotted, 45 minutes. Just because means I just skipped some of the slides over there, because it will be repetitive when the other technical session starts and they go with the hypothesis. Naturally, it will be repeating. So I just skipped over there. Any queries? Any
very informative lecture, ma'am. If anyone have any queries, the session is open for discussion. Any questions? Okay, I feel there is no questions, ma'am. So I hand over to Deshmukh sir for vote of thanks.
Good morning, one and all. It gives me an immense pleasure to propose a vote of thanks for this session on behalf of Department of Chemistry, Department of Physics, and all the organizing committee members of this workshop. I would like to thank Dr. Lata Mani ma'am for an informative talk on introduction to research methodology, quantitative analysis, conceptual research, and all the concept of the research, those will really help the new researcher. Thank you, ma'am. Dr. A. Chandramouli, sir. I would like to thank all the organizing committee members of this workshop. And last but not least, I would like to thank all the students, participants, and teachers for attending the session in virtual mode. Thank you once again. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, ma'am.
For giving me
Thank you,
the
ma'am.
opportunity to present over here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Tomorrow we will meet.
Thank you.
At
Thank you all. Thank
10
you.
a.m.